Town Hall Meeting hay hiểu nôm na là buổi trò chuyện trước công chúng là một hình thức gặp gỡ trò chuyện trước công chúng của giới quan chức lãnh đạo khá phổ biến ở Mỹ. Nhân chuyến thăm Việt Nam, Tổng thống Mỹ Barack Obama đã có một buổi Town Hall Meeting như thế với các thủ lĩnh trẻ của Việt Nam. Đa phần trong số này là thành viên của chương trình Sáng kiến lãnh đạo trẻ Đông Nam Á YSEALI. Có rất nhiều câu hỏi đa dạng các chủ đề đã được các đại biểu trẻ đặt ra cho Tổng thống Obama. Xin mời quý vị cùng các bạn theo dõi lại một bài tường thuật ngắn phần giao lưu giữa Tổng thống Obama và thanh niên Việt Nam tại thành phố Hồ Chí Minh.
Được gặp gỡ với Tổng thống Obama, một trong những lãnh đạo nổi tiếng của thế giới, thì câu hỏi quan tâm hàng đầu của thủ lĩnh trẻ Việt Nam đó là làm thế nào để trở thành một lãnh đạo thành công?
My most important advice is to find something that you care deeply about. Find something that excites you and put all your energy and effort into it. Because the path for everybody is different. So there's no one path to ending up being a leader. But there are a lot of ways to lead. Some of the greatest leaders are people who are behind the scenes. One of the things that I always tell young people is don't worry so much about what you want to be, worry more about what you want to do. And what I mean by that is if you are passionate about your work, then naturally, over time, you are going to rise and people will admire and respect what you've done.
Tuy nhiên, không chỉ muốn chia sẻ kinh nghiệm về lãnh đạo và thành công, các bạn trẻ còn đặt ra hàng loạt các câu hỏi liên quan đến khởi nghiệp, bảo vệ môi trường và bảo tồn di sản thiên nhiên.
We would like to be given opportunities to approach the leading enterprises in the United States, especially in the sector of consumer electronics, automotive and airline industries, and other plastic-related products for supporting industries. And so, under your help, we could be able to join and be the supplier in their direct supply chain.
Yesterday, I had a chance to meet with a number of young Vietnamese entrepreneurs who are already starting to create digital platforms to sell goods, not just in Vietnam, but also overseas. This is one of the reasons why we're pushing very hard for the Trans-Pacific Partnership, TPP, because what that does is it reduces the barriers between countries for selling their goods and services. It gives opportunities not just to big companies, but also to small companies to enter into the global supply chain. If we try to complete TPP before the end of this year, then that will open up a lot of opportunities and create great confidence among investors here in Vietnam and U.S. companies who are interested in working with young people like you who may have a great idea. My job is to make sure that we have the kinds of rules in place that make it easier for businesses to get to know each other, to meet. And one of the things that we're doing with the Vietnamese government is constantly looking for opportunities for trade missions, for businesses to come and learn about what's going on. And so what we'll do is we'll make sure that through the consulate or through the embassy, if and when we have U.S. businesses who are coming here to Vietnam and are interested in meeting young entrepreneurs, that you'll have an opportunity potentially to present your ideas and see if you can make a deal. All right, good luck.
Questions for you is that because Sơn Đông is not just belong to Vietnam, it is a world heritage. How would you, an American leader of global citizen, preserve it?
I think the possible designation of a World Heritage Site is a complex process. It would involve, I think, working with the government of Vietnam, with existing organizations that designate World Heritage Sites. We'll be happy to work with your organization, with the Vietnamese government and others about the possibilities of doing that. But I do think that one of the great things about your generation is that you're already much more conscious about the environment than my generation was or previous generations were. And that's really important, not only to preserve beautiful sites in our countries, but also because economic development and the well-being and the health of your people and everyone around the world is going to depend on how we deal with some of these environmental issues.
In the Mekong region, there are a lot of hydropower dams are being built on the mainstream of the Mekong. And this problem is not easy because we have big countries and small countries related to the hydropower building in the area. Yeah. So do you have any suggestions for all the governments of the Mekong region to get together and sustain the interest, both economic and environmental interest?
On the Mekong Delta, we actually, through ASEAN and the East Asia Summit, created a Mekong Delta working group. Through our State Department and various programs, we're working to help them plan and create sustainable development across countries. Now, you're right that one of the big challenges is how do you deal with water resources and the building of dams and hydropower, and that's not a problem that's unique to the Mekong Delta. You see this in a lot of parts of the world where big projects get built with unintended consequences, and it has severe effects downstream. What we're going to try to do is to continue to work with the affected countries and to provide them with the technical assistance and the evaluations of what needs to happen, what they need to watch out for, and hopefully that information is power. That information then can be used to negotiate on an international level to try to prevent some projects that might have very bad effects.
YSEALI được đích thân Tổng thống Obama phát động nhằm liên kết các thủ lĩnh trẻ của khu vực Đông Nam Á cùng chung tay để thay đổi diện mạo của khu vực. Vậy thì sau khi Tổng thống Obama rời Nhà Trắng thì YSEALI sẽ tiếp tục được phát huy như thế nào?
So my question is that, as you said earlier, YSEALI in your initiative, and I know that you want to leave the White House very soon. So I'm wondering, when you leave, how do you come up with a plan to handle for the next president to, maintain this very good idea? Thanks.
Well, our expectation is that the next president will want to continue the incredible work that we've done with YSEALI. It's not just, by the way, young people in Southeast Asia that we're doing this with. We have a Young African Leaders program that involves young people from 50 countries in sub-Saharan Africa. We have a Latin American version that brings young people together. And at some point, we're going to bring key leaders from each of these areas so that they can start learning from each other. And our hope is that the State Department will continue this program. But one of the things, people always ask me, what am I going to do after I leave the presidency? One thing I do know I will continue to work on is developing young leaders in the United States and around the world. So in addition to my hope that the next president continues the program through the State Department, I'll make sure that through my philanthropy and my own work that we're continuing to bring young people together. So you can guarantee that I'll continue to work on this. Good.